Hello, everybody, and we're back with another Q&A. Thank you for all of your questions. Let's start with one of the outside ones. Hourly billing is getting a bad reputation lately. Can you explain why? It's because it's a model copied from the olden times, which for some things it makes sense, for others, especially expert work, kind of doesn't. Probably the oldest pricing model is the material dictates how much the hands cost, right? And some of the handy people today still use that model. If you buy more expensive tiles, it's going to be more expensive for those tiles to go up on a wall. But this hourly model came from the daily wages model, which was popularized mostly from the first industrial revolution on, when most people were doing simple jobs that anybody could do. And it went on. But for expert work, it makes very little sense. It's very usual, so people are used to it, but think about it. What's actually an hour of coding, an hour of design, an hour of coaching? If I provide it, that is it the same if you provide it? I mean, if I try to design something, it would take a million hours and would still be much worse than half an hour from a professional designer. So what's an hour of design? It makes as little sense as saying, can you give me 2 kilos of design? That means nothing. Yes, exactly. That's a very wrong way to measure design. So is ours. And it's only surviving because it's the easiest way to signify things, to notify things. So accountants are happy, and the state is happy because they know how to apply taxes. But that doesn't mean it makes sense. It doesn't. Of course, not everything should be priced differently than ours. Some things make sense, but those are usually not expert work. And some things are priced differently, even if it's not value pricing, which is wanted and new. Like copywriting is usually paid by the amount of copy, not the amount of hours. If I type it up in 10 minutes or an hour, I get the same amount of money. So that's considered normal, but it's not normal to price design or coding like that, which is kind of arbitrary. I think it's good that people are trying to question it and change it with something that's more appropriate. And those are the reasons. Hi, Paul. Good to see you again.
You too. I liked your example of the design work.
Yeah,
Because when I
the
think
kilos
about it
of
in terms of
design.
well, sorry, yeah.
The kilos of design.
Yeah, because I was thinking about, okay, so your client now has the 2 kilos of design. And the client says, well, this wasn't what I expected. I thought it'd be heavier, I thought you'd be taller.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Not even every hour is equally productive, right? I
Yeah,
mean, when you're digging a ditch, I can come there and see the amount of earth being
yeah,
moved, right?
yeah,
And when you're designing, I don't know, furniture, you can
yeah,
not move and look at the screen for 3 hours and not press a button. You're still designing.
yeah. It's like a bricklayer. So I've done 2 hours of bricklaying now. The
Yeah,
client says, and now? Like what next? I mean, I can't tell. How far are you? Well, now I'll give you another 2 hours of bricklaying.
exactly. Exactly. Paul, did you have a question for me today?
Yes, yes.
Go on.
More complex than ours and bricks, I think.
Good.
I have worked out, I think, in terms of my services and the way I'd like to present them to my prospects, that I have 3 levels: $600, $1,200, and $2,400. And for me, that indicates levels of intensity. And one of the elements of it is how often I meet with my clients. But my thinking is, when you give people choice, you confuse them. It's like, well, I'm not sure. Do I need the $600 version or the $1,200 version or the $2,400 version? Now I don't know. So now I make no choice at all. And so while I like the escalating rates and that complexity, which is exciting for me, I'm kind of thinking maybe I should just say to my prospects, we start at $600. This is what it looks like. And when you want to, when you need to, you can increase, if you wish, increase the intensity of it.
There's saying that we want more choices but are more happy with less.
Hmm.
Still, I would present at least two, because this is how humans buy, especially when they can't touch. Because what you're selling is a future state. There's nothing they can see about that, right? They can imagine it, If you don't present them with at least two options, they will find another option. Very, very rarely, unless you're Tony Robbins or something. People will get one offer, one choice, and say, yeah, that's enough, I'm going to do that.
Yes.
And if you provide them with a choice within your offer, both have to be meaningful, of course. But if you provide them with a choice within your offer, they're usually going to choose between those. And if you don't, if you give them one, they will go and find another. There's no guarantee they're going to actually consider you along someone that you should be considered along.
Mm.
So that they might find something that is completely not what you do, but for them it seems the same thing.
Yes.
Maybe not three. I would always say first try to see what the problem is, what are they're exactly trying to solve, and then find the two appropriate levels out of three, right? You can even recommend something, especially if it's the lower one. I recommend that we start at 600. So you get a feel of things, I get a feel of things, and then we can move on. But we can also, if there's an event coming along, if it's that part of the year, so we can ratchet it up right now if you like. That would entail this and a higher price. And this is the part of the value that you also get. I would not say that the only additional value is additional work. Your choices should be different in a qualitative way, not just quantitative. So this is 6 hours, this is 12, this is 18. No.
Yeah.
In the 6 hour model, you do this yourself and I do this. In the 12 hour model, I do 12 hours, but I also, within those 12 hours, do this, and this that you would have done on your own for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And in the highest one, if you want to have it ready, yes, you do more hours, but you also take some risk off. So you can say, I only do the highest level per 3 months or per 6 months, but you are only on the hook of paying the last third if we have these results or something like that.
Yeah.
You can raise the price above just times 3. So don't let them calculate your rate.
Yeah.
That's, yeah. So they have to be qualitatively different, not just quantitative.
I like
Because
that.
time with you is not something that people value. I would like more time with you, please. I would like problem solved in a more fundamental way, yes. But that doesn't mean I want to hang
Spend
around
time
with
with
you
him.
as
Yeah.
much as possible, and I'm willing
Yeah.
to pay
Yeah.
for that. Okay.
I like that.
So it's fine if those they don't have to be times 1, times 2, times 3.
Yeah.
So your
Good.
time is times 1, times 2, times 3, but maybe times 1, times 3, times 9, price wise, right?
Yes.
That's also fine.
Good. That certainly helped me. And I've got some thoughts about that. The thing I liked most about what you said was this idea that if you give them one option only, they'll come up with another one.
Yes.
My fear is they'll kind of come up with another. So if I don't want the $1,200 a month and we don't always have to speak on Zoom, maybe I could just email you. Can we do it for half price? You know, oh, that's just too complicated.
That's also why you don't want to give them a formula. So this is what I charge, right? If they get it, that this is for this amount of hours is this, then they will, if they can feel a formula in your price, then they will act like you invited them to mess around with the formula. Oh, I get it. So 6 hours this, 12 hours this, that. Can we do 9?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because now I know how to calculate that.
Yes.
This is one of the reasons that I don't like the irregular prices. So 16,071, right? It feels calculated. So how did you calculate? And if it's a round price, it's a round price. It's what I charge, right? You have no incentive to that.
So you're saying $600, $1,200, $2,400 is better than saying 635, 1,273, and
definitely better, because either you're joking around, you added the $31 for no good reason, and you're not going to
admit.
You're not going to admit that, or you calculated it. So how did you calculate it?
Yes.
And why? Why is this more expensive than that?
Yeah.
can we do this without that? Because I'm pretty good at this, so I think
Yes.
I can do that. You really don't want to do that, right?
Yeah.
People do it because it eases the guilt, the burden of I'm charging you money,
Yes.
right? It's not me, it's the calculation, right? It's
Yeah.
not me saying it's $1,600. It's the calculation
Yeah.
shows it, right?
Yeah.
So you're implying that, and so that's easier, but it's bad.
Yeah. I'm picturing the same experience in a restaurant. So can I have your steak special? And I don't want this, but I want that, but I want three of these. And my wife, she wants half the steak special plus this plus that. The guy says, no, sorry, it's just the steak special. That's how it works.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. You often come up with restaurant examples. That's like
I like
two
I
time or
like
something
restaurants.
like. Yeah, obviously that's perfect.
Good, thank you.
I have a lot of experience in. I'm not going to say which technology, not to out the person. Let's say it's WordPress, but you can't seem to get a normal price. Why is that? Well, when you say it like that, so I have a lot of experience in technology. What you're talking about is the process of you solving problems. That's quite rarely what people seek you out for. It's too abstract. You know what problems can be solved with WordPress, but clients usually don't. And makes no difference if you said WordPress Java or WordPress and Java or C plus or whatever or COBOL. Saying I work in WordPress is like saying I build stuff out of wood. So if you need, a table, a staircase, or a complete bridge, I could do all of that. You wouldn't trust a person like that, right? You hire somebody, you want somebody to clean your garage, and they say, yeah, sure, I can clean your garage. I can also clean your kitchen, your pool. I can give a haircut to your dog. Oh, can I also watch your children? No. I mean, the person probably knows how to clean all of that, maybe even watch children. I don't know. That doesn't sound good. As you can hear, I have a cold. Well, allergy, actually. So if somebody came and said, I have a degree in applied biochemistry, that's not going to inspire me asking for any kind of service. If they go down a notch and say, I have extensive knowledge in herbalism, that still doesn't ring any bells. Lastly, they can say, I brew medicinal tea, and that's going to generate the lead in my case because I would really like some herbal tea right now. So I don't sound like a penguin. So don't say I do WordPress. Talk about specific problems that you can solve with WordPress. And somewhere in the conversation, you can add WordPress as a topic. But saying it like that, it's simply too broad for most clients to actually know what they're doing. It's different when you're searching for a job, they know they need a WordPress developer, and if they need it. But when you're a solopreneur, small firm with clients, it's usually not going to ring any bells. They're not going to recognize the value that you provide. And if they don't recognize the value, then they don't want to pay for that value. That's basically it. Clients consider the work I do nice to have, and they're always looking for bargains. Can this change? Well, I'm going to give you a true consultant's answer here. It depends. What it depends on is whether you can reach some of them and get them to pay attention to what you're saying or writing without going bankrupt in the process, preferably. And if you can reach some of them, you can worry some of them, trying to point out the common dangers of hunting for bargains in what you do. Because it's probably not a good idea to look for bargains in expert work, but people don't know that, or they don't know enough about it to know what dangers lurk in doing that, right? So they wouldn't hire a gardener out of Craigslist probably because they know the risks, but they would hire a designer from, I don't know, 99 Designs because they don't know the risks. If you can reach them, you can worry them, and then you can maybe change the way that you can price the price that you can get. If you can't reach a significant enough number, you're probably stuck with bargain hunters. And then the way to go forward is to specialize, which is what the next question is about. So I'm going to talk about it there. My clients are all over the place, so I probably need to specialize. But how do I know who to focus on first? It's a very common question. The easiest, I think, the one that you can do, now, today, is to make a list of your former projects or clients. Even if you were working for somebody else, you worked on different projects for different clients, even if they were internal clients and external clients, and simply see what worked, who did you click with, who would you, let's say, clone if you could. So if all clients were like this, that would be awesome. See who would you avoid. If if you never get a client like that again, that's going to be too soon. Within that, you can have some sense about your ideal clients, or at least good clients for now. I think that's the simplest method that you can do. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm starting to really sound like a bird, so I'm going to call it a day for this time. See you next week. Bye.
Everything changes.